Welcome to episode 2 of OK Hoop, Go Ball Chasing. This time, we're going to have over 12 minutes of Class 4A, 3A, 2A, and A girls highlights featuring players and teams from all over the state. We're we're 12 hours to record this on the dot to Class B2, which kicks off, which I will be there for that first game tomorrow morning. But for now, let's get it going. We got 2 weeks of basketball left. It's going to be a marathon. It's fun. Again, I write for Prep Girls Hoops Oklahoma. Use promo code OKHOOPS50 to get 50% off my written content. It'll be highlighting as many games and players as possible. I'm Sam Duran, and let's start with Washington Lady Warriors, the defending Class 3A champs. They're 27-1 and won 23 straight, have tons of wins over fellow top 10 teams in 4A, or in 3A, in 4A, in 2A. They're one of the best teams regardless of class size in the state. It starts with Kelly Bellar, Southwestern OSU commit. I believe his freshman year she had an unfortunate injury in the state tournament. She's bounced back, led into the title game 2 years ago, won it last year. She's dynamic, she's with her teammates. There's Presley Johnson. She's a hero last year's state tournament. She's going to UCO. Fantastic shooter, great size. Now they're possibly even better than last year's team because they have great young talent around these seniors with experience. You got Breely Bell there, who had the steal. That's Kelby's little sister. She's a sophomore. And then you have Bentley Brantley, one of the best freshmen in the state, already been off of Mississippi State in SEC. Big time scorer, smooth, electric, fun. Now, who's going to challenge Washington potentially? We got Adair. They're 26-2 on the season. They have a great 1-2 punch with Allie Sweatberger. I probably said that wrong. My apologies, Allie and family. And then Hannah Bond, who is an outstanding forward that can drop passes too. She can step up at threes, and she's going to rebound and do brick wall in the post. It goes beyond just the senior duo. Allie's going to Northwestern in Alva, and Hannah's going to Northeastern in Tahlequah, so they got both sides of the state covered in the future. But they also have sophomore Reagan Langley, who's a strong shooter. They've won a ton of games, like I said, they're 26-2. They definitely will. They made state last year, first round exit. This is the first year of the new head coach after being a legendary girls program, but they can bring it. Let's switch gears to 2A, where we have top-ranked Dale. They're 26-2 on the year. They've become the smallest school to win the prestigious tournament champions, where they beat a 5A and 2 6A teams back in December. They also gave Washington the only loss in the year in this game, which was the Dale Championship highlights. They're led by a great senior duo of Skylar Anderson, dynamic, great guard, Danica Penley, physical forward, who also can put on the floor, good skill here. Alongside that duo, they have great shooters, including sophomore Peyton Bays, junior Kinley Bullard, freshman Addison Hill was huge when they came back to beat Washington in the championship game of their own tournament. They're deep. They have a bit of a shocking loss to Fairview, where they lost by double digits, but otherwise they're perfect against 2A teams. Other losses also to 3A and Millwood in overtime. When they're at their best, they've proven they can play with any team in the state. They're the favorites, but they've kind of short the last couple of years after winning in 2023, I believe. Yes, 2023 they won it. Now, one of the top contenders for Dale in 2A is Hearts Home, who were runner-ups last year, featuring T. Davis, and she's back. She's one of the main returning players from last year. She does it all for them. She's a better scorer. She's a better playmaker now, and she still brings the discipline on defense and as a fighter. She's going to SMU, and we'll be hoping to improve off last year and actually bring home the gold ball. But still, she's already made a heck of a mark at Hearts Home, considering that runner-up and they're back in state. They're probably going to expect to make state next week. Let's switch gears to Class A with the defending champs, Sorrel. They won it last year. They returned 2 key players from last year. That was Chloe Goomba with a big steal and score, along with Kinsey Rash. Rash has had an outstanding senior season. Goomba is a grinder of a guard. They punched their ticket by beating Wilson 54-49, I believe, with a 24-win record. Now, one of their top contenders this year is Caddo, who was ranked first in the state going into the playoffs. They were 24-1 before they lost to Allen in the area. They bounced back by nearly beating Tallahena by 40 points. Last year they made it. They have some new faces I'm excited to see. But two returnees that made plays last year and are among better prospects in their respective classes are junior Caden Prince and sophomore Bell Hookham. And because of that defeat that Caddo suffered in area, we get a dandy of a first-round matchup as they take on Amber Podcast and their outstanding senior guard, Sadie Franklin. She is shifty off the dribble, a bucket getter, but super impressive against a bunch of big schools at the Mustang Hawaii Classic earlier this year. It's impressive to see Franklin bounce back because she recovered from a broken leg this past spring, but she's been hooping and it has Amber in the mix for the title. One more potential Class A star to keep an eye on is Katie Parham-McCarthy. She had her breakout last year as a sophomore during the playoff run that saw McCarthy make the semifinals. Now they're positioned to possibly do it again. They just lost a close one to Amber last week, but then bounced back against Moreland to punch their ticket. Parham is a do-it-all guard, plays the head up, can make some plays on defense, is a shooter. She brings it. Now, when we're talking about players that bring it all over the court, let's highlight two great versatile players for their programs. You got Brooklyn Miles, a sophomore from Pawhuska. She nearly had 50 points in a playoff win last week. They had a setback in their last regional game, so they're going to win 3 straight to make it there. But Miles is the type of player that she can do it all. She gets 5x5s, if you know, you know. Triple doubles. She's athletic. She's aggressive. She is a dog. Speaking of players that do it all, this one has a tournament appearance. Olivia Stokes, junior for Locust Grove, led to the semifinals last year. She is 6 foot. She's over 6 foot tall, but she is skilled and just a bucket. Great player. Locust Grove is an area. They're going to win away from state. They're probably going to be back at it again because of Stokes, and we're going to see her play big-time college basketball in a couple years. Let's close this out with a look at a few different 4A teams, including Broken Bow and speedy Jalen Carter. As a freshman, she won state with Ida Bell, put on a show in the big house, ankle breaker. Now she combines with Tyson Woosley, who's a fellow junior, who is great hands, great footwork around the rim, great touch. They're one of the best 1-2 punches in the state. They're also 1 win away from the state tournament now in 4A. They've won a lot of games, won their few losses to Washington and Dell, so no shames in that. They have a chance to shake it up in 4A, especially with a player like Cawthorn, who, I mean, she can probably get a triple-double with points, rebounds, and steals herself. And, of course, Woosley always needs a double. She knows how to play out of it. One of the most exciting teams to watch in Oklahoma. Speaking of exciting teams, you have Douglas, last year's runner-ups. They're expected right back. One of the big regions, Gates right there. She has made a huge step forward as a junior, becoming a complete scorer, great athlete. She shoots it well, she's tough off the dribble. Micaiah Burge, another kind of, she's about a 4, but she's got some 3 to her. She can push it herself, just like Gates. But they make for a great front line who can also stretch the court, and that really helps that they have one of the best sophomores in the state, Justice Woods. She is dynamic and electric. Great, some of the best handles. You bring a little more attitude on defense too to go along with Micaiah Burge's defense. Douglas, they play a lot of games out of state, so they're 16-8. But they just won the regional by 30-40 plus against Lone Grove, I believe, who is a ranked team in 4A. That speaks to what they are and what they've built these last few years. They're going to be in the mix. Now we have Kingfisher, who's 25-3 of the year. They made state last year. They were first round exit. They're positioned where they possibly can win a game or two and maybe make a run, because 2 of their 3 losses are to Washington. No shame there. They have outstanding senior Abby Myers, who is a workhorse around the middle. Great mid-range game, gets on the boards. Along with her, they have sophomore Ella Hartman, who is long, lanky, and I'm saying dynamic a lot, but she's a dynamic player. She can do it all. They have a great core. They've won a lot of games this season. If a team kind of breaks up that Douglas, Lincoln Christian type thing, it could be them. Now we have McLeod. They were undefeated till they played Washington when they suffered defeat there. But they returned a lot of players off last year's team. They were very young last year, featuring sophomore and freshmen. Now they're juniors and sophomores, including the Mapria twins. They're two of the quickest guards in the state. They can both shoot the ball. They're unselfish. They get after it on defense. And they combine with fellow junior Creighton Conley, who is another kind of workhorse type player, has a mid-range game, gets on the glass. They're a real balanced team. They're a great example of a team being greater than the sum of the parts, or the sum of the parts being greater than it. Sorry for mishandling that metaphor. They're going against Douglas will be a great barometer for how good McLeod could be if they can challenge for a state championship. And last but not least, we have last year's Class 4A champions who closed out the Big House Lot season by winning the close one. They returned the amazing 1-2 punts of Maddie Stewart and Alexis Leyva. But around that, they are deep. Nia Willoughby, she'd be a featured player for a lot of teams. She just plays in a row. Ivy Willer's taking a big step forward as a junior. Great shooter. Kaylee Atkinson going to signed to Missouri Southern State, I believe. Another fantastic shooter. She wants to get after it too on defense, just like they all do. Sophomore Alexis Woodruff, another great guard who'd be featured for a lot of teams. Just plays a role, getting better every day. Jalen Albert mans the middle. Just go on and on and on. Lane Dooley's a freshman for them who would be featured for a lot of players. They are loaded. They are the favorites for a reason. The only two losses are the 6A programs and tournament champions. But this is why we play the game. Anything can happen. It's the March Madness. I'm super excited that we're finally here. These next 2 weeks are going to be filled with a ton of basketball. I'm going to try to get some more of these type of videos out, along with other highlights you're going to see on OK Hoops TV on Instagram, OK Hoops on Twitter. I appreciate you guys for watching. Please share, like, subscribe, anything, whatever you do. Let's hoop.